Hello, everybody. This is Sam from Digital Music Production, and these are supplemental lessons. They will not be graded or take place of classroom assignments. These are merely supplemental lessons for students to continue their learning during school closure. So, in the last episode, we continued learning more about the moods, but for this week, we're paying attention to dark/mysterious. As we covered the dark part of this week's lesson on our previous video, this time we're gonna work more of like a mysterious vibe and more of like the mood that just makes it feel like it's not exactly bright, it's not exactly sad, but just a little bit cloudy, and just to fill up like the imagination of what dark would be and mysterious. So let's go ahead and start. I have prepared a loop here. This is the melody we're going to be using, so let's go ahead and load it up, and let's go ahead and preview the sound real quick. All right, now let's go ahead and start with the drums. Always to make sure to put fades in the beginning. Let's go ahead and start with the lower volume of tracks. And then let's go ahead and fill in a snare. Alright, let's go ahead and make sure those fades are correct. And I'm gonna make some like triplet patterns here. So let's go and listen to that back. Well, going back to the regular grid. And add that there. Right, so let's listen to that. Okay, here we go. Now we made a whole drum pattern. Now let's go ahead and add in simple melodies, or I'm sorry, simple hi-hat. And then I'm going to be basically making like a tska, tska type of pattern. Maybe this one will work better. Yeah, maybe so. Okay. Just keep duplicating them. Maybe some, let's try to add some, this isn't exactly crash. I mean, I guess it is in a sense, but it sounds more like a ride to me, so I think I'm gonna put it in here. So we're not gonna exactly use it at the beginning, but we're gonna use it after, but let's go ahead and start from here. We're gonna duplicate this whole entire thing. Let's give it some reverb so it just kind of washes out in the background. And you know what we're going to do now is we're actually going to pitch this thing downward and make it even more authentic to our production, because most people just kind of drag and drop their samples in there, but what we're going to do is to make it a little bit more different. Let's go ahead and move it down like 1 or 2 transpositions down. Maybe 1. And as I always duplicate the same melody, I'm also going to do the same thing by bringing octave lower and then harmonizing it with this top track here. Let's go ahead and hear what that sounds like. Great. Alright, now I'm going to add some bass. Let's go ahead and create the MIDI clip, and then let's try to use our ears to find the first note. So that's the note that the high note of the melody clip is sitting, so that can't quite possibly be the bass line. Maybe D? Okay, so I think this will work. B and F sharp. Let's go ahead and duplicate this now. And then right here, I'm going to, because these are the same exact movements, it kind of gets boring. So what I'm going to do is to make this a little bit more articulated. So what I'm going to do is go into the front, cut this a little bit, and play around with the rest of the track. Okay, maybe I want this ride to be happening when this chorus parts kind of happen. All right, let's preview some sounds. Adding some more drum variations to pop out this, make this song stand out more rather than just having it a little bit more loose. I like that pattern, so I'm going to use the first ones of here. Actually, most of it. Let's go ahead and do that, and copy and paste. There we go. And then maybe we can pretty much use the similar kicks and snares because they're all pretty much similar. Alright, now I'm gonna go ahead and arrange these now. This time I'm going to make this track a little bit shorter. So let's go ahead and start with drop here. And then the intro / build. Great. Now we're going to be using these right here. And as we always group them, let's go ahead and Auto filter. Here we go. I actually like that. So let's go ahead and try that real quick. Draw some lines here. So then maybe we can do this for right before it drops. Maybe add some sidechain compression here. We need to name these tracks. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and do melody 1, melody 2, bass, and then arp, and then kick, snare, hi-hat 1, or hat 1, hat 2, and then rides. There we go. Now let's go ahead and group these together and call them drums. And then I want to sidechain this to the kick. And I want to make it like a pumping type of effect. So how I would do that is bring down the threshold a whole bunch to make it really pump. So let's go in the beginning. And I actually like this sound as well, so I think I'm gonna use this. Maybe I'm gonna do something fun here and experiment, see what I come up with. This one down. All right, so because I took a little bit quite more time making this arrangements, I'm not going to go too deep into the mix down because I've shown you guys how to do so within the previous few episodes. So I think I'm just going to keep this here for now, and then maybe go back on some of these sizes and then readjust them real quick, and then we'll go ahead and hear the final product. So here we go. Make sure everything's all tamed. Perfect. And now here we go. So that completes this whole entire track, and we based off the mood of mysterious and dark. Once again, on last class we talked about how to construct a dark track, and this time we were actually constructing a mysterious mood. As you guys can tell from the sample loop that we initially started, the purple ones, they do have some sort of like this like really kind of faintly there, which kind of gives it like more of the distance type of feel. It's kind of, because it's kind of far, you're not quite able to grasp what exactly sound that is. So that's kind of like one of the things that we can use when we are finding samples, is that find elements that are more dark and kind of like mysterious. Scale wise, it don't quite matter too much, but you probably want to lean towards the minor scale, because the more of minor chord progression it happens, the more dark it can be. So yeah, so here we are concluding the final version of this track, and this is based on the mood of mysterious. All right, thank you everybody for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next videos.